I have about 40 minutes today, and we're going to finish the useDimensions hook and demo page and make it so that it updates measurements live so that I can get something working on my freelance project where I came up with the hook. So I'm gonna run yarn start to get it. I think that's how we get it started to the demo. Let's see if I actually made that work last time. I think I did. Okay. Localhost 3000. Great. So we have the demo. Here it says this is 50 pixels times blah blah blah. And now this is the part I didn't get working, which means I'm gonna go, hey fuzzy buddy, how's it going? Long time no see actually. So while you guys were gone, one thing I did change was how useDimensions works, so that it works with Microsoft Edge as well, because I had reasons why I needed to make that work. Now let's see, I think Dan Abramov lent a helping hand and got something working a little better. Let's see. useDimensions. Will I find it that way? Got okay. Let's see. So I think he actually commented about it in my repository. So if I go here and I look for useDimensions, let's see. Oh, nice, 167 stars. I'm pretty happy about that. Sweet, new website from Fuzzy Buddy. It's a QA website for students. If you could please join, and if you know any other students, please ask them to join too. Well, I'm not actually a student, but I will, well, Fuzzy Buddy, it's not actually working. So when you fix that, I will check it out. Now let's see, using useDimensions. There we go. This API doesn't quite work. Let's see. Can you please elaborate on how a callback graph would work when we would use resize observer to listen to updates? Provide an example, not for measuring. Measurement case is now a part of React documentation, which is pretty cool. Now, okay, so that's interesting. Wow, something I built led to an issue being opened in React itself. I think I'm pretty happy with that. So let's see. I know Dan tweeted it at me somewhere. Come on. Will I really have to go through my notifications? There's so many of those. See, this is what I get when I don't work on a project every day and leave huge gaps, because then it takes me a while to get started again. And this part is obviously boring to viewers because I should have done that ahead of time. Okay. There we go. Thanks. That one. Okay, there's more. I need to go deeper. There we go. He added useDimensions 4 and did a thing. Cool. Let's look at Fuzzy Buddy's website again. Very nice. This is pretty cool. I like it. Okay, so I have to get back on task because I really do have only 40 minutes before I have to stop live coding for today. So let's see. useDimensions. How did he make useDimensions 4? I see. So use state. Okay, we can do that. Let's do it. So we have useDimensions here, and instead of use ref and use layout effect, we're gonna have use state and use callback. Cool. I'm not actually, to be honest, I'm not actually sure how use callback works. So we can use that as an opportunity to fix that, or like to look into it. So I'm gonna retype this from Dan so I know how it's working. Ref use callback of node, and we want this to only run the first time, I guess. If node, then set dimensions with get dimension object of node, else we set dimensions as empty. Cool, and we return the same object as before. Let's see if that fixes our use case for where is it? Cool. Come on. I know you can do it. What is wrong? What did I get wrong? Use callback is not defined. Of course it isn't, because I'm an idiot. Wouldn't it be great if VS Code could automatically add those things? I think it would. Okay. Reload. No. Cannot read property get bounding client rect of undefined. Right. Because this is now a node, not a ref current. So we say node. Wonderful. Okay. Hello is 44 pixels wide. Yay! Okay, so that works. We can commit that. Git status git commit -a-m. Fix hooks usage to align with Gairon's suggestions. Cool. Git push origin master, and I'm gonna close that. The first okay, I don't think your examples include an explanation of which props you're using and why. One last question. Okay. So I'm gonna close this issue because it has now been resolved. This has now been implementation has been fixed to rely on use callback. Thanks for the help, Gairon. Closing this for now. Okay. Got that. Now what's next? We said the next thing I want to do is make this work live. Let's see. So how do I make it work live? Thank you. Come on, discard. Wow, I think I just crashed Twitter. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks. Then I always forget how to get that emoji. It's this one. Come on, the thank you emoji. Thank you so much. Fixed my implementation. Okay, cool. Now let's see, how do we get... Oh, I know, there was a comment on one of my useDimensions tweets that mentioned a reference that it was basically a reference implementation that uses... So I'm gonna scroll here a bit again so that I can find it. Can you react to my YouTube channel? I have no idea what that means. Okay, so observer, I think it was called. No mutation. I know somebody mentioned that. Maybe I have to scroll back even further. Again, like I said, I really should have, you know, prepared this in advance or worked on the feature, worked on this project every day so that I don't run into these problems. Observer, no, come on. Okay, let's look at it. How do I look at it then? Use dimensions, and I think Somebody commented on, was it this one? Or maybe it was on this thread. Right now, it is like you were reading my mind. Do I measure in the component and pass it up? Okay, I forgot to answer that one. Let's see. Specifying ref current. More open source, slightly modified. There we go. Dimension changes via mutation observer. I would definitely use it using a blah. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna look at this code sandbox and see how I can use the mutation observer to make it live. And actually, let's add it to where do we add it? Works with deep nested components, and let's add another one. Use dimensions like this, and let's see. Index.js for demo app hello burb. Use dimensions demo blah. Try resizing this window to watch use dimensions update update measurements live. Okay, so that should just work. It shouldn't require anything special, which means we can, when I do this, I should be able to see this part here change or this part change. So let's see. If I go into use dimensions, where is it? In index.js. I want it to be in React mode. Let's see, how does this work? Is this the one with the mutation observer? Okay, now let's see. Using use dimensions to make, I was trying to use this package to create an auto-sized input that adapts to the text inside. I got it to work, but I have to render the text that the width comes from like such. Is there any way to hide the text that we are getting the width from, or perhaps a cleaner way to do this? Okay, I will help with that in a bit, but let's first get the mutation stuff working. So this one is Aaron. This one uses mutation observer. So let's see how that works. Aha. New mutation observer. Child list true, return observer disconnect. Okay. This one's gonna be tough. Or not. So we're gonna make an observer here, const observer, or let observer. Is this the pain of maintaining an open source? Yes, I guess this is the pain of maintaining an open source, but I mean, I've never been a very good open source maintainer. I'm trying to be better now. It just so happens that I do need this right now, so like I need this to start working live for one of my own things, so it's easier to find the motivation to make fixes. So what is mutation observer? Okay, so to make the mutation observer, I think we need to subscribe to changes in the node callback. Then we have to maybe I should use effect for that, because use effect is the correct way to do this, but I don't know if I'm gonna have the node yet. So I have the node in my use callback, and yeah, I'm just gonna have to create an observer here. New mutation observer measure okay, so this is how this is gonna be. We get the node in our callback. If the node exists, we're going to call observe, otherwise let's say observe node. No, not observer. What? Come on, VS Code, what are you doing? So observe, we're gonna call observe with the node, and here we're gonna say const observe equals a function that takes a node and then does stuff. So it's going to set dimensions, but it's also okay. Now let's try that again. So okay, let's try just making an implementation as if like a dumb implementation first. So we have const observer equals new mutation observer, which I guess runs the measure function. So this will have to take our node and do the things. Right. It's gonna need to know the node. Oh, I know what we can do. Oh, that would be... Actually, that would work. So let's do it that way. So we're gonna say const node set node equals use state with null, and then this thing is going to set node and then run the observer. No, not oh my god, why VS Code? You're doing this wrong. So then it's going to run observe. Seriously. Or no, not really. So it's just gonna set the node, and then we're going to have a use effect. Let's see, use effect or use layout effect. So use layout effect is a method that sets dimensions of, hey Ridari, how are you doing today, of get dimension object of our node. So we have the node, we set it into local state. When that updates, we run we set the dimensions and stuff. Or yes, and we const observer equals new mutation observer of const measure equals a function that does that. We observe measure, and then we say observer dot observe the node sub3 equals true and child list equals true, and we return observer dot disconnect like that. And just for good measure, we're also gonna call measure here, because I'm not sure if mutation observer calls it on initial load. Oh, very nice. Almost nobody is watching today. And we only run this effect when the node itself changes. Right? Let's see if that works then. So reload. Cannot read property get bounding client of null. Right. Of course not, because let's do it this way then. So measure, actually let's do it this way. So use callback sets the node, and then the measure says if the node exists, then it sets dimensions like that. Okay, let's see if that works. No, let's try it again. Parameter 1 is not of type node. Fuzzy buddy, what I'm drinking is an energy drink called Bang. and I really like them. They're pretty strong, they taste good, and they claim to be full of natural ingredients, but I honestly don't believe that they are. Let's see, of course, failed to execute observe on mutation observer because this is not a node. Right, let's change that then. So we only run all of this if the node is set. This one is water, this one is an energy drink. That's just how I roll. Oh, which natural ingredients? So this thing says, let's see. See, it says natural flavors here. Let's see if the camera can focus on that. Okay, too close. Okay, so somewhere there it says natural flavors, and that includes, let's see, do not use this product if you're pregnant or nursing, but carbonated water, that's natural. Citric acid, I think that's also natural. Natural flavors, malic acids, caffeine, sodium benzoate, potassium citrate, L-leucine, L-isoleucine, L-valine, L-leucine, L-threonine, L-phenylalanine, L-histidine, L-methionine, L-tryptophan, sucralose, potassium phosphate dibasic, vitamin C, potassium sorbate, magnesium chloride, supercreatine, which is creatyl L-leucine, which is creatine bonded to L-leucine, calcium chloride, calcium disodium EDTA, vitamin B3, CoQ10, vitamin B6, and vitamin B12. So I guess all of those occur in nature. Now here's the part I'm not sure of. It's a cocktail of chemicals. Well, when you think about it, I'm a cocktail of chemicals, so you know, it's like you know, water is dihydroate monoxide. So okay, so here's the question. Use layout effect. What happens if it sometimes returns? Actually, let's see, it might just work. Okay, so width of 672. It does not work. So 672 is not, that should be updating, but it isn't updating because okay, let's see how often set use layout effect actually runs. Console log use layout effect. Also, let me just go make sure my bird isn't getting into trouble. I'll be right back. Kiwi! Come hang out with us. Alexa, turn off the lights. Okay. See, he was fine. Yeah. I just want you to be here, Kiwi, because otherwise I don't know what you're getting, what kind of trouble you're getting into. Okay, so use layout effect runs. Now let's see. Console log. Console log have node. Let's see if that works. Okay, so it has the node and runs. Now that means it did set dimensions and it should be observing changes, right? So here in measure, let's do it. Let's do it in measure. We're calling that stuff, and we say console log measure. So that way I'll be able to see. Okay, so use layout effect ran 3 times. one of those it had the node, and then it measured twice, which means we don't need this. We don't need to immediately call measure because mutation observer calls it for us on the initial thing, I think. Ah, no, it doesn't. See, now it's empty. But if we call it manually, then it shows up. Okay. Now let's see. If I change this, it's not, the mutation observer is not mutating. So that means I have to go check what runs how mutation observer works. So mutation observer, web APIs. Mutation observer interface provides the ability to watch for changes being made to the DOM tree. It is designed as a replacement for the older mutation events feature, which was part of the DOM tree event specification. Methods: disconnect, observe, take records. Right. So mutation observer only runs if we actually change the DOM tree, not if we change the sizing. How many jobs must a newbie apply before he gets a callback? That is, well, here's the thing. You think of it as doing sales. You have a certain conversion rate from lead to getting a callback. The problem is that until you get that callback, you won't know what your conversion rate is, which makes it harder to play the numbers game. So I think until you get a callback, you should just apply to as many as possible. And then you can work from there. But I've heard numbers like maybe tens or sometimes even hundreds before you get a callback, but it's basically... Alright, so Ridari says the ratio is for... So that means that if you get, for 100 applications, you get 2.5 calls back, and let's say from then you have a probably like a 30% chance of actually getting the job from the callback, which means you need it's probably more like 20% chance to actually get a job from a callback, depending on your skills and your experience and your enthusiasm and stuff like that. So I would probably say you need to talk to at least 5 actual people before you get a job, which means according to Ridari's numbers you would have to apply to 200 jobs before you get a job, which sounds discouraging, but that's how sales work. Think about it this way. You're not looking for a job, you're selling a product that costs, I don't know, $100,000 a year, $80,000 a year. That is a pretty big purchase for most people, so you have to really work for it. Now, Mutation Observer doesn't do what we want, and now that we have these callbacks, we don't need the Mutation Observer to look for changes in the DOM. So how can we look for I guess what changes the positioning of nodes usually? It's screen size and scrolling, right? So let's see if we can first look for screen size stuff. So Mutation Observer is not for us, which means, let's see, window on resize. Instead of const observer, we're going to have window.on resize is going to call measure. And how do we window.on? Wow, I have forgotten add event listener. Now how do we window.remove event listener resize measure. Right? I think that's how you do that. So we know that when Windows resize, we usually have changes in this stuff. So let's see. Okay. See, that's working now. Cool. Awesome. Okay, so that works. Window add event listener resize, and we rerun this whenever the actual node itself changes. So we have that. Okay, git commit -a -m. Remeasure when window size changes. Now we need to also check for scroll. How do we detect scroll? Oh, and we should probably debounce that. How do we debounce? We'll check that next. Let's see. Window resize event. No, not resize. Window scroll event. Scroll event reference. Perfect. The scroll event fires when the document view or an element has been scrolled. Cool. Since scroll events can fire at a high rate, the event handler shouldn't execute computationally expensive blah to throttle the event using request animation or custom event. Note, however, that input events and animation frames are fired at about the same rate, and therefore the optimization below is often unnecessary. Cool. So we want window.add event listener scroll. We want to run the measure function, and we want to make sure we remove that event listener when we're done. Window.remove event listener scroll measure. Now let's see if that works. Yay! Okay, cool, that works. So we now have a live updating bounding get blah, bounding client rect. Cool. And yeah, that should also work. Perfect. So what else? We also, I think this is good enough. We might, yeah, Candy Cane, don't, the odds are ever in your favor, and the odds actually get better as your career progresses. The hardest thing is getting your first job. Then once you do that, you can leverage your first job into getting future jobs. So it really does get easier. But of course, your requirements for a job become harder and stronger. Mouse wheel speed across browsers. Let's see. Shows that one scroll event up is... okay. Interesting. Oh, September 20. Okay, this is... It's been a long time since... I remember having to really care about this for one project at work, and it was horrible. Detecting very specific scroll wheel movements is really, really hard. Git commit -a -m, remeasure when window scroll changes. Now let's see about debouncing this puppy. JavaScript debounce. Is there an easy way to do that? Debounce in JavaScript, improve your blah. I'm sure there's an easy function to do this. Okay. I don't want to do it with a timeout. Meh. Okay, I think there's a low-dash debounce, which is already implemented, so you know. Low-dash debounce, let's see. I know that's a thing that exists. Creates a debounced function that delays invoking func until after wait milliseconds have elapsed since the last time the debounced function was invoked. If leading and trailing options... Actually, you know what? I think this is fine. There's not gonna be a performance hit on this too much. Let's just do it with window request animation frame. That should be good enough. Window.request animation frame, blah. There we go. So that should be fine. And now we have a debounced function, right? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay. Everything works now and is live and perfect. Very nice. So I'm going to git status, git commit -m debounce window event listeners, git push origin master. Now let's make sure that we... The other day, blah blah blah, I had to align useDimensions hook. It's really that simple. Let's add this. Space point. Come on. What? Where did my thingy go? Point right emoji. I don't know what happened with my emoji keyboard, so I'm gonna copy paste it from here. Check out demo page. Oh, that means we're gonna have to host the demo page somewhere. Git status. I don't know how to host this. Yarn start. Let's see. Package JSON. Do we have a... Okay, that's serve react demo. Oh, I know. Cat // blah test package JSON. Let's see. Serve react demo, clean module, clean demo, build react component, serve react demo, test react. Let's see, NVB build react demo. Maybe that's a thing that exists. No. Let's see, NWB build demo. I'm sure that's a thing that exists. Demo, npm start. How do I host the demo app somewhere? I have forgotten. Demo, running the demo app, no demo, project layout demo, demo, npm start, running the demo app, console error, no, this demo component is implemented, blah. The demo app falls back to its primary purpose of creating a demo you can deploy when publishing your code without having to build and publish separately, as component builds and demo bundles are built from the same source at the same time. Okay, so I can say yarn build, and that should build both of them, I think. No. Let's change this to be build react component. Yarn build, cleaning module, build. That builds the demo. Perfect. See, it helps to partially read the documentation. Cool. So I can now go to status, git commit -m, use React, use build React component, and then we go to demo and dist, and we deploy that with now. Let's see if it works. I can now go to this thingy. Yay! So that's there. Let's see, can I say now alias blah to useDimensions.now.sh? Oh, sweet, that worked. So we can now go useDimensions.now.sh, and it's right there, perfect. So I can add it to the README. Check out demo page to see useDimensions in action. So demo backstory. Okay, cool. Git cd git commit -m update readme, and I'm going to say npm version minor. So that creates a new tag, git push origin tags. So that pushes master and the tags themselves. And now I can say npm publish, and I'm going to need my phone for that so that I can get the what's the thing called? I don't remember. I need the authentication code. Kiwi. Kiwi doesn't like two-factor auth, so I need the OTP code, and I think Kiwi doesn't like hanging out with us because I am too loud or something. So let's see, npm. Okay, this should publish. Yay! See, it's funny because it always says it fails, but then if I try doing it again, it works. It one day Gatsby course, that is next week. So I'm still working on it. Cool. We got that. Oh, nice. 130 weekly downloads. I'm pretty stoked about that. Okay. Should I update this? Yeah, I'm gonna leave that for now. Okay, so I'm gonna announce it. Fire. Oh, right, my emoji keyboard doesn't work. Fire. useDimensions now uses React hooks correctly. Thanks, Dan. useDimensions v110 is out. Let's add another fire emoji. Fooyah. Okay. Uses React hooks correctly. Thanks, Dan. So we said the fish thingy is a React hook. Now fishing. There we go. Uses React hooks correctly, and run. Updates measurements live on scroll and on window scroll and size changes on scroll and resize. Okay, and let's add a little sick but basic. Let's see, where is the, I want to use this emoji for that one. Let's see, where is it? Come on. No. That kind of works. Sick yet basic demo page. Yeah, I'm super happy that Dan Abramov checked out my hook and even used it as inspiration to add something to React documentation. Hi, Burp. Check it out. Where is the GitHub? Hi, Burp. Of course, I'm announcing this at 10 p.m., which is probably a terrible idea, but what are you gonna do? I'm excited about it now. I'm not gonna be excited about it tomorrow morning. Let's add a... Yeah, let's... Should I add all of this? What do you think? Should I add this to the... Yeah, let's do it. It's gonna look cool. So, carbon now. Hi, Burp. Oh, why is my computer so slow all of a sudden? What is going on? Why is Activity Monitor using 60% of CPU? Excited about new upcoming React features. I'm always excited about new and upcoming React features, even if right now I don't know what they are. I'm just really excited about playing around with hooks because they are cool. Where was I? This one. Okay. So that alarm, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but it means my laundry is done. And it also means that I'm gonna have to stop live coding now because, okay, we have achieved our goal, yay, and I am out of time because the laundry is done and I have to get to real work after I get the laundry. So thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again probably tomorrow when I will be working full steam on getting, what was it, on getting the One Day Gatsby course working and prepared, and I'm probably going to be working on the demo app that we're going to build next week at the workshop. So thanks for watching, see you next time.